Bev's Video Kingdom is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised.
This episode of Bev's Video Kingdom is brought to you by cocaine. Hey, Bubby, look, we got to talk about this drug cocaine. I mean, come on. Like, if you really need a pick-me-up and the confidence to close $1 million deals, Bonzo, then you better snort a couple of lines off that hooker you got in your office and get to work, man. There's nothing like the energizing boost of a couple bumps of good blow, and you'll be ready to take on the world. Hell, Daddy-O, you'll be ready to insert your winning personality into any conversation or situation, and you can bet your bottom dollar you're going to come out like a champ because you're high on coke, baby. So get yourself an 8-ball schnookums and get ready to play with the big boys, because with cocaine, you're king.
Brad. Sweating. He's sweating.
Brad's so sweaty.
Do you think cocaine can get us some samples as one of our sponsors?
We'll have to talk to him.
Hey, Denise, get me cocaine on the line.
I wanna be at Beverly's, bringing me home with my movies. Just a blind by, no reason why. I love Nick Nazak and Brad, your favorite podcast. Let's start this thing. Woo! Oh, yeah.
Jingle bells.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bev's Video Kingdom. Gosh dang it. Welcome back. Thank you, Brad, for those jingle bells and the oh, yeah.
What's that sound outside? Is it Christmas?
Is that Santa?
It is.
On the 8th of December? No, what day is this? I don't know.
Something like that.
It's early December.
We've got a hefty bearded man on our roof right now, walking around.
He's a
saying,
little early.
Saying, oh, yeah.
No, that's just Rick. He's putting on the Christmas lights.
Hey, Rick.
He fell off earlier. I think he's okay.
As we learned on Christmas vacation, if you can hire somebody to do your Christmas lights, that is the move.
We're in California. It's not frosty outside at the moment.
You can still fall off the roof, Nick.
True.
I've done it.
Zach has a
It's
story.
not fun.
All right, guys. Welcome to Bev's Video Kingdom. This is Die Hard. This is Nick. I have the responsibility of running Die Hard, the 1988 classic. The classic, actually, big question mark that I just want to open up with is whether or not this is a Christmas movie. I guess let's go around really quick before we even get our intro thoughts.
Hey, yo, Nick! I thought we was picking Christmas movies.
We were, but I want to bring it up because
why you picked Die Hard?
I didn't pick it.
I'm super confused.
This was a collective choice.
It was a collective choice. I was into it because I know that there's Christmas surrounding.
I feel like the zeitgeist has influenced your pick.
It's 100% a Christmas movie because there's
100%.
all sorts of Christmas elements in it. It ends with a Christmas song. They talk about Christmas constantly in the movie. So it's a Christmas movie. 100%.
Zach.
I think that there's a lot of stuff that can get cut out of this movie, and part of it is the Christmas stuff. What do you think, Nate?
Well, I want to get real philosophical and, cinephile on you. What makes a movie a Christmas movie?
Christmas shit.
Okay. Christmas
I'm
shit.
getting real scientific and philosophical with you.
Yeah, so like Santa Claus did so and so get whatever for Christmas?
So, I mean, does it have to be a movie? I mean, I often think of these as like, the simple version, I think, is if you take that out of the movie, is there something important about the movie that changes?
No, but I still think this is a Christmas movie, even though I was talking shit earlier. I think just the setting. That's all you need.
Well, I guess I would say it depends on this is, what is important. But I think there are important things. I mean, the movie changes without, so they're at a Christmas party. Right,
that sets off the scene.
And I didn't think about that.
Okay, so they're at a Christmas party. There's a bunch of like Christmas party things that happen, right? There, some people trying to hook up in an office.
Lots of cocaine.
Lots of cocaine.
Very Christmassy.
Very Christmassy.
Let it snow. Let it snow. Let it
fake
snow.
Powder. So there's some Christmas references, right?
And getting a little deeper, it's Christmas is the time for, like, if people have split up, that's when they realize, we've split up, and it's that idea of, can they get back together? Like, maybe we can make this work.
He's traveling out there for the holidays. He's not just randomly coming out.
Right.
I think with it ending with a Christmas song, because it doesn't open with a Christmas song. I thought it did. it ends with the Christmas song.
But there are a bunch of Christmas songs intermixed in it.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
there's a bunch of like purely instrumentals. So I say, I mean, I also think that, you know, a big part of it in some ways is just what do people watch at? You know, is it part of a Christmas rotation?
Right.
For a lot of people, it is, right? I mean, you know, and I think it definitely is for me. And I say yes. I say, you know,
Yeah, I mean, if you're all about the old school like classics of Christmas, yeah, it's not that. But if you can just wrap your head around the fact that it's a Christmas movie for a different maybe generation and a different group of people, it's our Christmas movie.
Yeah. I love that angle. I'm totally down with it being a Christmas movie. And I don't care that it doesn't go into like the comfortable little niche Christmas movies like you're talking about, like the cookie cutter. So I'm all about it being a Christmas movie. It's not on my like rotation on a yearly basis when it comes to Christmas movies, but I love that it's considered a Christmas movie. Zach, were you going to say something?
This is all I'll say about it being a Christmas movie. If your criteria for Christmas movie is that you put it on and you do other shit, it was a perfect Christmas movie.
yeah. No,
It's long enough, and I know we'll get into that.
It's long, and everybody's seen it, and you know what happens, and you can come in at any moment.
You're waiting
and-
for parts, yeah.
Yeah, and something's happening. And if that's your criteria for a Christmas movie, it has that. It has Christmas songs. There's a tree. I'm in. I like it.
I watched it last year with my son, and I didn't promote it as a Christmas movie or anything. And he was like, "Dad, we're watching this Christmas, right? We're going to watch it."
Oh, I like it.
Yeah,
That makes me feel happy. And
I've got takes on watching this with my sons.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
All right, so I think that's a pretty big yes. For those of you that hate us for this, please send us your hate mail at Bev's Video
We've
Kingdom.
yet to receive any hate mail.
Bev's Video Kingdom at
I mean, maybe that means that
gmail.com.
people love us.
I'm upset at our fans.
I wish they would just send us a little bit.
Zach wants hate
just to
mail.
make us
We
feel.
had-
I just want to feel.
We had one hater that was like, "You've done Bill Paxton wrong," and we were like, "No, bro, you're misunderstanding. We like Bill Paxton. We just don't think he's good at directing."
We don't think he should act and direct in his own movie.
Besides that, we love him. Just listen to the pod and you would know, bro.
All right, so Die Hard, 1988, directed by John McTiernan. I love Die Hard. It brought to the world, introduced to the world, John McClain and Hans Gruber, who will forever be remembered. I mean, action hero who, you know, trying to thwart the terrorist, right? I mean, it like welcomed and it brought into the world that dynamic in a movie, and no one, that's the OG, right? I mean, is there anyone before this that was that, and everything kind of was after this as the cookie cutter of this?
Well, it was going away from the action hero style of like this was, and I'm going to get that in later in Shag Snag Body Bag, but yeah, it was a different style of action movie that wasn't like the Predator and Cobra and that kind of shit.
And Rickman is just an all-time bad guy.
And Alan Rickman, this was Alan Rickman's first
Film debut.
This was his film debut.
Okay, see, I
This
did
is-
not know that.
This
That's
was Bruce Willis's first starring role.
so he wasn't the sheriff of Nottingham.
That was after this. This is after he was a big deal, probably from Die Hard. I don't know when Prince of Thieves, but it had to have been not too long after this movie.
Alan Rickman's one of the few guys that gets a lot of praise on social media, and people really revere him. Where I'm like, it's warranted.
Alan Rickman is an amazing, can play both ends of the spectrum. He can play the best good guy and the most hated bad guy.
I prefer his bad guys, but
So do I. He is an unbelievable bad guy.
good.
So just to answer the question, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is 3 years after Die Hard. It's 91.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a minute, and he has a number of things in between. But yeah, it's clear that Die Hard is the big, his big break.
So Nate,
I love
what
Rick-
were your thoughts on? Sorry, Bob.
No, go for it.
Nate, what were your thoughts on Die Hard, bud?
Yeah, I mean, I love it, and it's one of those things though. Watching movies for the pod, you ask some questions that you've never bothered to ask about movies, and really about like why you love them, and it's kind of a fun one in that way. So, and Brad, made the comment that it gets you away a little bit from like the action star that's sort of like super charged up Predator, the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone type, 80s action star, archetype. And for me, it's not that John McClane is not a badass, but it's like he's sort of not quite an everyday dude, right? Because he's a cop and he's got a skill set, but he's not like he's not like a a SEAL or something.
Right.
You know, like
What he has, he's got 2 moments in the movie where he's like, "All right, John, what the fuck? All right, come on, get it together. We got to figure this out." And
He doesn't always have
super
all the
humanizes him. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you.
I mean, and you know, a lot of the fight scenes, for example, you know, I'm not going to go and say that they all just feel super real, but they're much more realistic in certain, you know, there's a lot more struggle, and he's clearly like not overpowering people constantly, or
For a late 80s movie, late 80s action movie, it's totally realistic.
Yeah, and,
he's not Arnold.
well, and I was going to point out, right, like his kill count is very low, right? Like if you think about it, you know, he kills something like 6 people or in the movie or something.
He's super proud of it too. He's like, "There's only 7 now."
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like,
He just kind of like grabs the dude and hangs on.
yeah.
And same
Couple
way as an
times.
Unbreakable too.
Yeah.
And so, you know, for me, it was like it's a little bit, I sometimes think about, you know, who's your favorite like superhero, and mine is always, I always say Batman, right? And I like Batman primarily because Batman has no innate superpowers.
That's an insane take, but okay.
Oh, well, you know,
His superpower is that he's rich as fuck.
That's true.
except being rich.
But John McClain, though, I like his style of speaking too. It's not the forced like very ridiculous way that most of the action heroes talk. The one line that stood out to me is like when he's trying to get the police lady to understand that there's some shit going down, and he's like, "No fucking shit, lady. Do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza?" It's just like the way he's just like, "No fucking shit, lady." He's just aggressively mad and angry.
You buy him as a New York cop,
Yeah.
right? Like you buy him as like he's a real no nonsense, like, you know, clearly been around, you know, and I love it. I mean, I'm all in on that.
But he's also like super exasperated with LA.
Yeah.
Like when he comes
yeah.
in and there's like the first girl in the universe wearing leggings that like goes and hugs her boyfriend, and he turns around and he's like, "Oh, LA."
That was pretty stupid to me. I did not like that
That I
whatsoever. I was like, that's dumb.
But overall, I love it. I think it's, for me, it's definitely top 5 action movies of all time, and in my Christmas rotation.
It's got to be, right? Like the top 5. It's got to be. It's the birth of the modern. I mean, the birth of the modern action movie. I mean, everyone references Die Hard.
And I think
And it leads to so many movies. And we'll get into that in streaming.
I think it's got a place in history just because of what it was at the time that it was. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that you can like magnify lens this movie and say like this is a fucking exciting movie all the way through. I don't know. We'll talk about
It's
it.
too long
We'll
to
talk
do
about it
that.
in a
But
minute.
I'll tell you what,
100%.
It's funny that Willis found himself in this spot because he was the last choice. It was Sly first. Eastwood was considered. De Niro. I even think Schwarzenegger. I mean, they were all considered before
It is
Willis.
a terrible movie with Clint Eastwood. I'm sorry.
Right?
Oh my God.
God,
I mean, at that
I
point,
can only
he was-
picture like 90-year-old Clint Eastwood trying to
I know,
hang on
but
to
he's
the
a-
fucking machine gun strap while
But
he's trying to
that
get
means he
into
would have
the-
been 60 in this movie.
Yeah.
jumping off the top of the. I think he trips before he gets off the edge there. All right, guys. Well, thanks for your thoughts. That's good stuff. That's a great way to open up friggin' Die Hard. Just a great. I mean, it's a great one. It's a classic. It is a Christmas movie.
I will say that I think this movie is too long, but my one take is that like it's got a good plot for an action movie. The setup, the it's not really a twist because the audience knows, but the news guy kind of like tips off Hans Gruber to know, or wait, Gruber,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, he tips him off to know, you know, who he is and to grab his wife and all that. It's really a well set up movie and a really good movie. I don't want anyone to think I don't think it's a good movie. I just don't think it's very good.
Well, no, we're focusing in. This is when we're actually magnifying that. Like Nate was saying, there's not many times. I mean, this is why we love doing Bevs, is we can friggin' sit down and watch a movie and magnify all these things that we didn't think about in movies like Die Hard. They try and get into a lot of deep shit. Even our boy from Family Matters,
Carl Winslow.
yeah, Reginald Vell Johnson. Even his little story is hard. Like that's a real
I shot a kid in the
serious
face.
like story. I mean, that could be its own like storyline. Then you got the entire terrorist group and whatever their whatever their drive is to do what they're doing in Hans Gruber's story. You get into a little bit more in Die Hard with a Vengeance, and you get to a little bit to know he has a brother and all these things, and then you got Bruce Willis and his wife's their story. There's a lot of like complicated like storylines that, I mean, I get it. It's tough to squeeze into like an hour 35. But at the end of the day, I do think it gets a little long for whatever reason. But
For being 2 hours, it's actually, I think it's paced pretty well.
yeah, it is.
There's
It could
not-
be a lot worse.
There's not too much drag downtime.
So I hate to say it because I think it's too long of a movie, but they really gloss over Carl Winslow shooting a kid in the face. They're like,
Think so?
I think they're like, I shot a kid in the face. I feel bad about it. That's why I'm such a
but they
good
can't
cop.
spend any more time on it, and that's they say it enough, and then that's why it resonates at the end when he's the one to take the shot
Exactly.
on the at
Redemption.
the not dead guy,
Right,
the
'cause
dead
he's
not
like,
dead
I
guy.
got words on
because
that.
he's like, now
I
I've
got
killed an
words on that
adult.
in a little while.
And the sound for that
don't-
gun is
I don't get that at all.
very late 80s. All right, so we're just gonna move right on to Drinking with the Director and John McTiernan. All right, and let's move around. Let's see before we start talking to Johnny Boy, J-Bone. Let's see what we're all drinking tonight. Bradley, what are you sipping on?
Well, we have an almost unanimous drinking situation here. Almost unanimous. We just picked up today a nice, great keg of Karate in the Garage from Last Call Brewing, Oakdale, California. And this is Drinking with the Director, sponsored by Last Call Brewing, Oakdale, California. So
Thank you, last call.
we got Karate in the Garage in our glasses.
I'm also drinking Karate in the Garage, and I'm going to need a big sponsorship from them for the DUI I'm going to get on my way home. Because holy shit.
I think that is actually part of the contract. Is that
Our first, I think it's our first.
they
Our
cover
first
our
DUI.
first
is our
DUI?
cover.
Yeah. I think that's right.
They don't pay for the second one.
Walter said he would take the classes online.
Well, ironically, I'm the only one that doesn't have to drive home from this pod. And I'm drinking
Grenadine in the room.
Grenadine and
So we
diet.
got Karate in the
Diet
Garage.
Pepsi.
We got Grenadine and
So
Did you
I just
splash
want to
anything
know.
tonight?
No,
I
I
didn't
just
splash anything
want to
tonight.
note that Nate is drinking his Diet Pepsi with grenadine and no alcohol in there. So the grenadine is just literally for the. Is that just?
It's a Diet Roy
Flavor.
Rogers.
Diet
It's for the
Rogers.
flavor.
It's flavor. It's not only it's flavored whether it have alcohol in it. Or
Can't you buy the cherry Coke like on its own?
Do you ever
It's not
drink?
the same.
You know, it's Pepsi. And do you ever drink like straight Pepsi, like not the diet flavor?
No, dude.
'Cause,
I used to drink a lot of regular Pepsi way back, and I slowly got away from it, and now I can't, man. I think it's the
It's like tastes like
corn
eating
syrup.
a full
it's the
sugar
corn syrup makes my
cupcake.
stomach hurt.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not. I do remember though when I was like, I guess from my buddy's house, whose parents were just relatively unregulated on the weekends.
Yeah, I know Mormons too.
No, this is not a Mormon household. And we would go to Little Caesars Pizza, and we would get the 2 square pizzas for like $9. So we'd get 2 of them because we were 12. So
Both
why
for
wouldn't-
$9.
So why wouldn't we get 2 of the 2s?
And you were like, let's put sugar.
So
on it.
why wouldn't we eat like 2 square pizzas each? And then because we're fucking 12 years old, and then they had a entire shelf of their just full. It's like one of those like movie. You open it and there's just a whole shelf of regular Pepsi, and we would drink like 15 of them and stay up till 4 a.m.
At his parents' house.
And then as a 12-year-old, that was my idea of full heaven.
Do I know who we're talking about?
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I don't know.
Can we drop his name?
TD?
No, I don't know. Oh no.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it was pretty magical, but that somehow scarred me, and now I can't handle the corn syrup.
So that for all listeners, they worded the name Zach across each other to
My
Zach's house.
My parents
I just
were fully on
that
the
was a
diet
long
soda
story from the
train.
grenadine to the.
Anyway, that's what I'm drinking.
All right, so John McTiernan, throwing weird looks at Nate's red cup of iced drink.
Tell me
drink.
what my boy McTurnan's done because there's some
So-
stuff I liked.
He's got a run in the late '80s, and man, it puts him up there in as far as action directors, one of the greatest and arguably one of the greatest. So
His best movie is
87, he's
not
got
Die Hard. His
80
best movie is not Die Hard. Go ahead, Nick.
87. He's got Predator.
Wow.
Then he gets
Classic.
then 88. He's doing Die Hard. 90. He's got Hunt for Red October. 92 softens up with Medicine Man.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with medicine, man.
Get soft with Medicine Man.
Everybody needs medicine, bro.
Raging Boner. 87, 88, 90. Softens up for Medicine Man. Last Action Hero. 1993. Comes back with Die Hard with a Vengeance. Does not direct Die Hard 2. Directs Die Hard 3 with a Vengeance, 1995. Thomas Crown Affair, 1999. And then 13th Warrior.
Let's not skip over Thomas Crown Affair. Just 'cause it's not.
That's a fun movie.
It's a really.
Oh, I enjoy
I
Thomas
like
Crown
Thomas
Affair.
Crown Affair.
Yeah. And then I really like 13th Warrior.
Okay, so that's I thought you were stepping on the lead because I didn't think you were going to say it, but 13th
dude.
Warriors is his best movie.
It's
It is a classic.
I'm so glad that you said that.
Banderas and fucking Michael Crichton, the guy that wrote Jurassic Park, like wrote the story and executive produced.
So it was on my
God.
like list of like movies. I didn't put it in there. I didn't know what anyone's thoughts
One of my
were.
favorites.
It's one of my dad's favorites for sure.
It's a take on Beowulf, the Beowulf
It's
story.
exactly Beowulf.
Oh, dude. It's my jam. So a hell of a run from 87 to 99, and just like I want to sit down and talk to him. I don't know about his thoughts
Sir,
about Willis.
Can we? He totally stopped. Like his last thing.
Yeah, it was 13th Warrior.
Why did he quit directing it? Was it like 03?
13th,
I
bro.
think 13th Warrior was a pretty big flop.
No, it wasn't.
unfortunately, but
He
it was great.
directed. He directed Basic. In
Oh, he
03,
did have something.
Rollerball in 02.
I didn't count
Was there an
those.
instinct after that?
I
Basic?
didn't count those.
No, and then that's it. Though.
Then I never
Like,
saw it.
and I think he's still alive.
He's probably old.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
He's
There's no
70.
way we would know how old he
He
is.
might be on Cameo.
Is he dead or is he on Cameo? Let's sort this out.
What do you guys want to talk to John about? Bradley, do you got anything you want to talk to John about?
So I did a lot of just kind of nitpicks as I was watching the movie. There were things that kind of bothered me, and one just stood out to me. I mean, as somebody who kind of had a little bit of a interest in directing and things like that, there's a scene when some of the cops are running up to the building because they're going to go break in. And the cop runs by some rose bushes and he like runs in and he goes, "Ah, Jesus." Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck did that go into the movie for? Because it makes zero sense that it's in there. It's almost like it was like an outtake that they just left in, or maybe it was bad editing, but it made zero sense for this cop to be running up with his machine gun, hit the rose, "Ah, Jesus." And then he just keeps walking. It's like, what the fuck is that doing in the movie?
So, they're trying to make him look like incompetent, but I thought the exact same thing. Never
I hate
noticed
to-
it before.
So this is my problem with the movie. I'm stepping on several of my points later, but the entire cops outside storyline can be cut. It's fucking
Buffoonery.
30 minutes of the movie.
You're 100%
and it's like
right.
when fucking Lundberg comes in and he's trying to tell people what to do, I'm like, get out of here, Lundberg. We don't need you in this movie.
Wait, Lundberg?
This movie could be
But Lumberg,
30 minutes
Lumberg's not
shorter.
in this.
Lundberg's not the fucking the
No.
chief outside.
No. That's
Who
not
is it?
Lundberg. Some other dude.
It's the guy from
Somebody
Johnny
else.
Be Good and Breakfast Club, and he's
It's the principal from Breakfast
Breakfast
Club.
Yeah.
You're
There you go.
absolutely right. I take it back. It's not
Not
Lundberg.
he's great at the part that he plays.
Does he not look like Lundberg though, but like way younger?
But I agree with Zach that I actually agree with Zach that a lot of that
All
could
that shit can
cut.
get cut. I don't need any of that. I don't need any of the reporter going to the house. Like we can figure out another way for him to find the picture and see what McClain looks like. I don't need any of that.
That's a good call though, Brad, on the rose bush.
That's it.
They
Just,
totally
it jumped
show
out to me.
that.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why was that in
Brad's
the
like, we were watching it with the subtitles, and when he fucking got hit by the
ouch.
rose bush,
So for me, that I want to. I mean, there's a fair number of things, but I want to start with like an early sequence in the movie, and I want to hear about what's going on and why these decisions are made. Some of which I think work really well, and some which we've already talked about are really out of place. So
we talking about Tophus?
no, actually, funny enough, so sort of, yeah. So I'll jump to toe fists. So the toe fist thing is weird.
Yeah.
But then I really love that he goes and does it, and it's materially important for the rest of the movie.
Because that's why he has his
That's
shoes
why
off.
his shoes off.
It's
And
the
so, like,
only reason it's acceptable to be in the movie. Because besides that, I'd be like, we need to cut that shit.
Totally, but I'm saying, one of the things I liked was this thing, like it was a conversation they have that I'm like, oh, that's weird, and it comes in and it plays this important role. So that's one in the win column. The flight attendant looks at McClain when he's getting off the plane like he is
Dude.
a medium rare steak that she is about to just devour. Like
Is
she
that-
is like, I fucking him, like it. And I was like, okay, why are you setting him up to be this like super? Because it never is important.
You
right?
should know that he's handsome. But is that the same chick that sells the pantyhose in Christmas Vacation?
No, it's not.
I do not think so.
It's not.
No.
But I mean,
She's
that goes with the
very
whole
pretty.
roses scene. It's like the cop hitting the roses makes zero sense.
Okay,
to put in there.
there you go. So that's in the loss column. We get a limo driver for no apparent reason. He could just like jump in a cab, but we get a limo driver named Argyle,
He's my favorite character.
which
in the movie.
is one of my all-time favorite movie names. I love to call out the good names. Like, how'd you come up with Argyle? It's great. Then he sits in the front with Argyle when he rides, right? So John's sitting in the front of the limo. We find out that it's Argyle's very first time as a limo driver. And so this is one that, like, it's got a great name. It's sort of a weird little thing that you're not sure about. That turns out to be sort of important later, right? Because he has these conversations with Argyle. Argyle has this sort of scene at the end. So that's a win. Oh, but I skipped over one, right? You guys called out earlier. Why is he like weird about the hot chick that like jumps on her boyfriend at the gate? You know, this is California. That's weird. It's a loss.
He was just checking her out. That was my take.
He'd never seen leggings before.
They were the only people with fluorescent colors on in the whole entire airport.
He was like, "What's up with Lululemon?"
She was actually the designer.
Yeah.
So there's some things. I'll stop there, but I mean, I guess I want to know, you know, like, what are these little subtleties supposed to be doing? Some of them work really well. Some of them kind of like feel like they're just a little bit forced. But I generally dig it, and I guess I would say putting those like, you know, those little foreshadowings with the toe fists, or is it toe fists?
Toe fist in the rug.
I couldn't remember if it was called toe fists and the
He's
Argyle.
making fists with his toes.
Those are big payoffs for me.
Our friend Danelle, she makes great toe fists.
Oh, yeah, Danelle.
I just want to shout her out right now.
Yeah, there's some that
You guys know what a hammer fist is? She fucking rocks that shit with her toes. Continue.
we love you.
Bold statement to come out and to not Zach's statement, but to open up Die Hard with talking about toe fists. Like, you get to your hotel room and you make toe fists. That is some of the first lines of the movie. The first lines of the movie.
That guy reminded me of the friend in Christmas Vacation.
Oh yeah, the Bill.
You know who I'm talking about.
Well,
yeah,
William
exactly.
Atherton, who plays the reporter, he kind of reminds me of Bill from Christmas Vacation as well.
I was angry.
Ghostbusters.
I was pretty much angry at the entire reporter storyline.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like so tacked on.
And in the news, like the newscast,
their whole little beef inside the news agency.
They set up all this storyline for nothing. They're like, "I just want you to know that nobody likes this guy." And it's like, okay, well, that's like, why we feel cool that fucking Camille Braverman punches him in the face.
And they have like a thing, like the banter, like they got some history, like him and the anchor guy is like, "Suck it, Bill." Or suck my, suck
They're
my
like,
dick, Bill.
we're live right now, and he's like, "Oh yeah." So
yeah, like, we're trying to find comedy in places we don't need to find
No.
it. It's kind of silly. So my main question for the director is going to be this, and it's you know, we'll see how he takes it. But I would just say, why do you think this movie is popular? And I'm asking you guys that question genuinely. Like, so I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it by any means.
I'll get into it on my shag. There's definitely some reasons I have with my shag.
Okay, but I'm just curious, like, in general, what about this movie made it super popular? Was this the first time that there was like an action hero movie? Like,
Bruce Willis was pretty popular. I mean, moonlighting and I mean, he had a presence on TV.
How many years after this was Pulp Fiction?
94, and this was what year?
88. So from
6
88,
years.
where he's a huge star in Die Hard, they're talking about in 94, like, oh, Tarantino pulled him out of the dregs and revived his career by putting him into fucking Pulp Fiction.
No, they
Like,
revived.
that timeline doesn't make sense.
They revived Travolta.
Travolta.
Yeah.
Travolta's the one that got
I
the
know
big
that
revive.
too, but I thought they kind of snagged. No,
I don't think so.
I'm getting head
I
shook
think-
at me.
I think Willis was okay.
You think he was like a big star?
Well, yeah, because Die Hard 2 comes out, and
Die Hard 3 comes out the year after
And
Pulp
he's
Fiction.
He's like married to Demi Moore, or maybe they were divorced, but I don't know.
12 Monkeys was happening, I think, around.
Hey, 12 Monkeys is a dope.
I think it was happening right. Yeah.
So I guess to answer your question, and I'm going to say this, and then hopefully a lot of people will hate on me and send us hate mail, but
Possible.
this movie is one of the first action movies of this era where the sort of scenario is quasi plausible. I mean, plausible is a stretch, but like, you know, if you think of the Predator and the Terminator and Commando and Total Recall, and you know, there's a lot of action movies here that are not in any way relatable, and you can't put yourself in. You know, even with a stretch, you really can't. You know, it's hard to be like, well, I'm pretending I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger here, right?
This is all going into my shack.
Okay, well, so
I appreciate it though.
stepping all over Brad's toes. So my answer is just it feels really, and I got to say for me particularly because I am, as we learned on the Training Day pod, like a half deputy sheriff. I feel like if I were ever in
Pretty close. You're pretty close
if I
to
were
a
ever at
real
a Christmas
deputy.
party, I would probably pull out my sticker badge. And,
I would hope that you would take your shoes off
I would
first.
take my shoes off
Yeah.
and go straight white tank.
Not the highest arches, but those feet will have to make it through.
I feel like because I'm a cop.
Right.
I learned the other day that high arches are the ones you want to fuck.
If you're into that.
The feet. He's talking about the feet.
I had a conversation with a good friend of mine who confided in me that he likes high arches because he wants to fuck them, which I was like, this is fucking a weird thing to
Well,
talk
you
about.
you
bro.
put them together, correct? Like you put the
Friendsgiving
feet
just got
together and
crazy.
You just
Yeah.
go after it.
Yeah, well, that's what.
That's exactly what I said. I argued for that, Brad. I was like, okay, I get it. You could put the two high arches together and then you have a high arch vagina and that you could fuck.
It's like, I get it, okay? I get it. Stop talking about it. It's been an hour. But I think it's Bruce Willis. I think he's like semi-flawed. He's he's not beefed up. He's not superhero physique like the other guys. He's not, fighting aliens. He gets fucked up. By the end of the movie,
Oh,
he
I
is
love the amount of blood that is just
There's
all
so
over
much
him.
blood.
Yeah.
He's not in great shape. He's not pulling out the Tylenol or
he's in
at.
pretty good shape.
He's in really good shape.
He's
a
in
heavy
late
smoker.
80s good shape.
He's a heavy smoker. He's like, I'm in the airport, better smoke a cigarette right now.
Right. And like and like him like talking to himself, and things like that. Like he's trying to work himself like through this. So he's not perfect. He's figuring it out as he goes. So all of that mixed with Rickman. I think Hans Gruber, that villain, is one of the reasons. It's the mixture of Bruce Willis becoming an action star and a legit action star and Rickman all happening at the same time is too much. That's why it's such a big deal. It's just kind of as simple as that, I feel like.
Do you guys agree that Rickman is like a great bad guy, but doesn't really fulfill his full like Rickman potential until he does the American accent at the end when he's trying to trick him?
Oh yeah, he's great.
Clay?
To me, that's the scene that like
I think he's
makes-
captivating. The
William
entire time.
Clay.
I think he is too, but I'm saying like
I think he
that's
is too, but I think when he goes back into the American accent and you think he's tricking Willis, you're like, this guy's the fucking best bad guy.
So
Well,
let me-
I was gonna say we're just so used to the over the top, like bug-eyed, like hyper villains that
Totally.
when you get someone who's just like calm, collected,
He's very like
Cool as a
no
cucumber.
nonsense. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And at that point, the Chuck Norrises of the world, right? And the Cobras, and like they were these superheroes that 55 shots are at them. They do not get hit with a bullet, and they hit all 8 targets that they shot at the first time in the head. You know what I mean? So he's getting hit. He's running through glass. He's bleeding everywhere. He gets shot here and there. He's got scars, on his shoulder. They make sure you see that. They show it's his, the wife beater, right?
And Willis kills it at like being in pain while he's having a heartfelt conversation with fucking Carl Winslow.
right.
Right? Like
Right.
he's
Yeah.
fucking great.
no
Right.
doubt.
well, and maybe this is an unpopular opinion given some of the conversations so far about how this is a long movie and there's all these things that can be cut, but I actually think part of it is that you care about more than like one bilateral dynamic, right? It's not that you're just like, oh, I want to see how the tension between the main villain and the main hero plays out, right? You care about he and his wife, and there's some realness to that. We talked about where like the scene I really love is when they, he calls her out on her name, and they get into this they roll into what is clearly a fight they've had a bunch of times about what our marriage is
Exactly.
supposed to be, and it's like you especially those people that have that are married and that have had these sorts of like ongoing fights. It's like, oh, like you get a window into what their sort of like fights have been about forever with three back and forth
The
exchanges.
best scene in the movie is when he looks himself in the mirror and he's like, "You bring that up, John."
Yeah,
God damn it."
exactly.
It's so good.
So you care about him and his wife. You care. I mean, you're invested a little bit in he and Carl Winslow and that cop dynamic. And as much as I know that there's some auxiliary, I fondly remember how much I hate both the FBI agent that comes in, the idiot cop that's
Johnson and Johnson.
exactly, and the reporter who shows up in the sequels more prominently.
He comes back.
Yeah, I
haven't seen any of the
number 2.
sequels.
Yeah, it's a really great one. So there's just a whole bunch of like different. Oh, and then, to a lesser degree, you're really happy when that fucking schmarmy cokehead gets shot in the head.
He's my favorite character in the
He's
movie.
really good though.
But I'm just saying, I mean, one of the things is like, it's not just that the plot itself. I mean, because earlier you said, well, the plot's really good for an action movie. I don't actually think it's that the plot itself is good. It's that the character development of a bunch of characters and relationships in the context of an action movie is kind of, I mean, it's
done well.
It's done well, and it draws you in, and that's part of why you're like, I want to see what scene's coming up, because it could be any one of a bunch of pairs.
Oh, and the other thing we didn't talk about is the relationship between the two terrorist brothers. Like, that dude is
they actually give a shit about it.
Like, he's for blood from the moment his brother's killed early in the first 45 minutes of the movie, and then it's like,
Well, bro,
I don't care about the plan. I want to kill this guy.
Exactly.
You're
I could
almost
care less.
sympathetic, like, to this sort of, where you're like, oh, like, like you're a terrorist, but man, you're broke.
They're not caricature bad guys. I mean,
Yeah.
they are in a
except
sense.
the Asian guy at the end. They're like, well, we should throw an Asian guy in there, and they throw him in there, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna eat a Snickers before I get killed.
Crunch. It was a crunch.
I got a question just real quick for the director that this is more just of the process of filmmaking is, so Hans Gruber's death scene. The notorious thing here is that the stunt director, they had him attached. He was going to do like a 14-foot drop, and they're counting it down, and they dropped him earlier than they were supposed to get this actual real look of fear as he starts falling. And I just want to know about the ethics of that. I mean, is tricking an actor just to get a reaction? I mean, is that ethical? Is that something you can still get away with nowadays? Or is
I think that's so legit. And we actually talked about this on a previous pod. So when I watched this scene just now, I was very concentrated on his face and his facial expression. And it's more understated than I had pictured it being in my head, because I remember us talking about this and I was like, oh, he didn't know he's going to fall. Like, it's a real reaction. And it's much more understated. I think that it's a great decision, because he could have overacted it really easily, right?
right? And that's what I'm just wondering. Like, ethically, is that something that still happens, or is that something that your ass is going to get fired or sued?
I've heard a lot of different stories about crazy shit directors do and put actors through. I feel like that's on the more mild side.
That's, I just wonder if Rickman was like, oh, funny guys, good take. Yeah, it actually worked out. Or if he was like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
You're
going
to talk to my lawyer. My lawyer's going to be calling you.
Yeah. And then I got a couple just nitpicks, a couple small ones. John McClain going down the air ducts when he uses the machine gun as his hold. Doesn't that seem like one of the dumbest ideas ever?
Because there was
We're
a
gonna
half
talk
of
about
inch
this later.
of machine gun holding in the door, in the frame,
There's like-
all quarter
there's
inch on each side.
Yeah, there's like a quarter inch on each side. He's giving up his machine gun,
Right.
and he's also just a little slip, and he's certain death.
I've got serious thoughts about it, and it's going to come up.
Okay, that's gonna come up. And then Winslow would have heard the gunfight on the roof, right? I mean, guns are loud. I think that's one underestimation in a lot of movies, is that guns are fucking loud as fuck.
And you're in the middle of nowhere on top of a building.
Yeah. When he looks up and
After he bought the Twinkies.
he buys the Twinkies, if there's a gunfight going on with machine guns, you're going to hear it. He's very much close enough that you're going to be hearing those pops.
Carl has a huge gun, and it's loud.
So
Carl's
maybe
a
he's
funny
deaf.
ass name.
Maybe that's the problem. He's deaf.
Are we talking about Carl Winslow?
No,
or?
Carl is the name of the blonde.
Oh, I thought you were talking
brothers
about Carl
So
coming for
confused.
vengeance, dude.
I thought you were
His
making a
name's
joke about his
Carl.
wiener,
We're
dude.
gonna have to let Carl.
Yeah, he's got that
know.
AUG, which is like a weird assault rifle that they use in some European
by the
army
way,
stuff.
from Counter-Strike.
For
I know
anyone
what
that
you're talking about.
For anyone that doesn't know, Carl Winslow, the reference is that Carl Winslow was the dad on Family Matters. Is it Family Matters?
75% of our audience is
Zach,
age 30.
Family,
So
Family
we
Matters.
know.
Is it Family Matters?
Family
Family
Matters.
Matters with Urkel. And so he
With
was
Jaleel
and he was
White.
also a
Thank you
cop,
very
or was he a
much.
security guard?
No, he was a
Security guard.
cop, bro.
And so
Are
that
you
was
seriously disrespecting Carl Winslow right now? Calling him a security guard?
I maybe he was a cop. I don't know.
No, he was a cop, and he was one of Chicago's finest. So you need to get your shit straight.
Legit until just recently in Die Hard, I thought John McClain was constantly calling him pal. Like, hey, pal. Like,
That's what I thought he was
I thought it was in New
Al.
York. His last name is Powell. And so he's calling him Powell the whole
I
time.
thought it was Al.
I thought his
'Cause
name
it's
was
It's
Al.
Al Powell.
What?
So he's calling him Al, though, not Pal.
He's saying Powell.
They
most of the time.
changed the
saying
name
Al.
because no one could understand what he
He
was
says
saying.
Powell almost all the time.
We've got
saying
another look at the big.
He's like, "Hey, pal,
brain
you
on
there,
Brad.
pal?"
Oh, look at the big brain on Powell.
Are you sure?
His name is Al Powell. Albert Powell, I'm assuming.
How now, Al Pal? Gotcha.
You know, someone just
Toy boy.
Hey, my final nitpick with the ending is the limo driver, he hops in the limo with his
Argyle,
wife,
bro.
with Argyle, and he's got a busted up limo. Nobody wants to ask him any questions about like what went down. They don't want to take any statements or anything.
Not-
They're just like,
he's
you
good.
guys
He's
can
out.
go. You guys can go.
It's
no
fine.
big deal. We don't need any statements or anything.
He's like, Argyle, roll the window up. I'm about to hit this shit.
The FBI agents, too, are like,
Oh,
weird.
The scene where the FBI is like, it's just like being back in
it's just
Korea.
like Saigon.
Saigon. And then the
they
guy's
just
like,
go
I was
up.
a junior high douchebag or whatever he said.
Yeah.
It's fucking
And then, I mean, would you maybe? I know cops have a sick sense of humor. We talked to Lieutenant Dan, and just kind of that's the way that you have to deal with things. But when the FBI dudes all die in the helicopters, I'm, we're gonna need some new FBI guys, I guess.
just like,
Like, you really just are that
Hey,
apathetic?
man, they hate when the feds come in on
They
their
don't like
jurisdiction.
I guess.
feds.
but, yeah.
a minute ago, you said something about a Twinkie.
Yeah, Twinkies.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe that is the signal. That's the bat signal for our ASMR moment.
moment?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, jingle bells, jingle bells.
Zach going wild on the board.
Zach's
I
on
teach
the
him
board.
the board. He's like, I got this
Brad,
shit.
show me where the buttons are, you guys.
And he just fat fingered it. Like,
You guys are just in trouble. All right, so I got a Twinkie here, and
Oh, yeah.
and Scott likes it. And you wouldn't think that a Twinkie would make a noise, but if I get real close,
oh, that's Twinkie-licious.
What kind of Twinkies?
if I get real close,
Oh, yeah.
so for all of you ASMR fans out there, you just get your Twinkies,
Sponsored by Scotchback.
eat along with me.
The Ballad of Bosco Jenkins.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was good stuff, guys. All right, so we're good. John McTiernan is leaving satisfied.
John. 13, we need the 14th warrior, bro.
13th.
No, we need another one. We need a sequel. We need the 14th warrior.
Another warrior.
We need,
100% agree.
bring it on. Banderas is still fucking, he's super hot, dude. Come on.
Didn't make our list, but
There's
super
plenty
hot.
of swampy lands.
This episode of Bev's Video Kingdom is brought to you by Reginald Vell Johnson Laxative Hotline. Having trouble number twoing? You down in the dumps because your dump game is weak? Let the soothing, positive voice of Reginald Vell Johnson open up those pipes and show that number two who's boss. Inspiring words like this will make you feel like your best buddy is right there next to you, coaching you through that crap.
Just watch your ass and you'll make it out of there, you hear me?
Is he encouraging the dirt?
Why settle with traditional laxatives when you can go the all-natural way and let Reginald Vell Johnson put his warm voice around your shoulder and softly whisper in your ear?
Hey, look, I love you. So do a lot of the other guys. So you hang in there, man. You hear me? Hang in there.
Don't worry, cowboy or cowgirl. You're going to get through this shit.
You're going to get through this shit.
I need a poop coach.
Nick, there's a lot of layers there. If you can have Carl Winslow talk your shit out of your butthole,
That's $1 million idea, right?
fuck, I'm so in on all of this.
Right?
It's like the next best thing to the squatty potty.
All right, we're moving on to our next category in shag, snag, body bag. You know, what do you want to shag for one night passionately? What do you want to spoon for the rest of your days in snag? And what do you want to just kick to the curb and just kill with a nice one-liner before, after, or during you knock that thing out and get it the hell out of here?
He must have lost his head.
Let me lead with shag just because it's something that has been covered by a lot of y'all
Get it, Brad.
already. So my shag is just the non-invincible good guys. And we were talking about earlier about why do people resonate with this movie? And I think part of it is the fact that you do have this action hero who could be kind of an everyday guy. You can't imagine looking like Carl Weathers or Arnold Schwarzenegger or Stallone, but you can see Bruce Willis and kind of see some. I could be that guy. I could possibly be in that situation. I could be. I feel like he's reacting similarly to how. I gotta say, just real quick, I'm gonna call it out because it was amazing. But a marshmallow just flew from one side of the room to the other.
I just threw a marshmallow right in Nick's mouth, and you guys didn't even know it because it's a fucking not a visual medium.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful catch, and there was a very muted reaction. But everybody was stoked. And even mid conversation, I was pumped. I was like, yeah, good catch.
That's the first time we've done that for all you listeners. First and maybe only time, or just first time. No practice.
Those are the kinds of high level shenanigans going on all the time.
Magic.
So just not invincible. Like the fact that he feels like he can possibly die. Like
he's like the opposite of the character he plays in Unbreakable, right? Because he's like invincible and unbreakable.
It's literally we would call this movie Breakable.
Yeah.
Invincible.
I would watch that. Vincible. Vincible. This movie's called Vincible.
But yeah, so I just the fact that he's an everyday dude, and I think you can relate to him more than most action heroes. So I think that's very much what people resonate with this. So my shag is the fact that this kind of set off that whole, you know what, vulnerable, more everyday type of action heroes rather than the beefed up dudes we got in the 80s.
So I'm gonna just fucking pog Brad's, and I'm just gonna throw my pog down, my slammer right on top of that one, and I'm gonna go with the opposite, the foreign bad guys in this movie. Rickman with his accent and fucking all the like German dudes, and then they throw the Asian dude at the very end, and they're like, "Oh, and also we have a black guy that's super nerdy. Like we've got all the bases covered." It's fucking great. I love all of it. I love when they have to go into different accents to try and pretend not to be foreign diplomat bad guys.
They met in college.
Yeah,
I especially like so when the cop first comes into the lobby and he pretends he's watching the USC game and he does this kind of like
Who is Huey?
I got
so
$50 on these assholes.
I love it. I'm like, oh, I'm all in on this guy. This guy's like,
I like when he's like, "Can I take a look around?" He's like, "Go ahead." And then fucking as soon as he walks away, he's like all looking nervously around.
I want to know that guy. How did that guy know what to say about a football game? And like,
was he an American? Maybe he was.
So he might have been American.
Part of the crew.
He's Huey Lewis.
If we would have kept talking to him,
he does look
Huey Lewis.
Because Theo's definitely American.
100% Huey Lewis.
he would have mentioned at some point that he thought they were playing soccer. Is what would have happened. He would have been like, "What are they doing?"
What are they
and then
doing?
Carl Winslow would have been like,
pitch.
"I'm on." Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'm on to him.
I have $50 on this match.
Oh, which also brings up, okay, so I'm going to use my shag as a forum to talk about how Bruce Willis knew that Rickman was a bad guy. Because he said the name that was on the list right behind him, Bill, what did he say his name was?
Clay.
Bill
yeah.
Clay. And he looks on the thing and it says William Clay, which is a fucking euphemism or another name for Bill.
They call those nicknames.
A nickname for Bill.
Zachary.
So we're
Yeah.
saying, how did
Like
Bruce
when
Willis
people call
know?
me
It'd been funny if he just was. Yeah, it was legit him looking around like Nakatomi.
My first name's Plaza. Plaza Nakatomi.
Paper. Lamp.
I love
It's
lamp.
Nakatomi.
Lamp.
My name is Emergency Exit.
turns into Brick Tamlin.
Exit Napakomi. All right, so
Bruce Willis buys it.
I just want to know how Bruce Willis knew, because he took the gun and all gangsterly looked like he loaded it for fucking the sheriff of Nottingham, gave him the gun, and then all of a sudden the script got flipped on old
He starts
Rickman.
laughing. in
Old
his
Clay.
face. So you're saying what did he actually notice?
What picked him off? Like it never addresses it. I thought that Rickman had him tricked. Is
So
it the
It
accent?
was a sign. They showed that the camera cuts to the sign.
But
and that's supposed
But
to.
Bruce Willis
that's
should have
supposed.
confirmed. Then he should have been like, he's telling the truth.
but I-
Exactly. That's what's supposed to confirm to you that Bruce Willis thinks he's telling the truth. That's why they flick to the sign.
See, I thought they were showing us, but not necessarily saying that John
Willis.
McClain looked at the sign. I thought they were saying like that's showing us that's where he got the name, but it didn't necessarily imply.
Well, no, Hans,
I thought
Hans
it was
doesn't see the sign. Hans is facing away from the sign.
No, Hans is a criminal genius and says a name of a
He had
real
to-
guy
he
that
had to
works
have
in the
seen that.
building.
And Willis sees the sign and sees, he like scans it and he's like, oh, he is, okay, that's a real person.
Exactly.
but he
And
just
that's
didn't
what's
trust
supposed
it.
to make you believe that Bruce Willis believes him.
Right. So I see what you're saying is like, how did he actually
Exactly.
figure it out?
How did he figure it out? Because I thought Rickman's accent,
So I
while
thought he
terrible, was
figured it
pretty
out.
good.
I thought the gun was the test. I thought he gave him the gun with no bullet. Thinking,
Oh yeah, that's the test. Then there you go.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's
think-
actually
I think he
genius.
was kind of like, well, I'm
So
gonna give
maybe
him
he
this
did
gun.
believe him, and he was like, "I'm going to give him this gun and see what happens."
It's like when you try to log
Exactly.
into a site and they're like the
that's actually
2-point
dope.
verification. It was like 2-point
It was
verification,
the two-factor.
2-factor verification. There you go. He was like,
gonna-
Turned on two-factor.
I understand you this one. Okay, you're right here, but let me
Nate,
see the second one verification.
I hope that you're fucking right because I like this movie more if that's true.
Let's just go with I'm right.
Yeah.
Let's just
If
say
you're
I'm
right-
and we'll go with it.
If you're right, I respect all you fucking weird 80s action hero fucking weirdos that like these movies.
All right, so my shag is going to be all the slightly peripheral characters. I want Argyle. I want, Carl Winslow. I want the irritating reporter. I want the douchebag cokehead guy. Like, I like all for me, that's the color that takes this thing to the next
Let
level.
me throw one at you. My 9 and 11-year-old sons really enjoyed the topless woman in the conference room.
Did they?
Yeah, they were like, they looked at both me and my wife like, "This is what we're watching."
yeah.
All right.
What about the Playboy pinup
the
on
poster? I actually have a thing later where I'm going to say that the only thing more interesting in this movie to my sons, other than the Playboy poster, was a certain character. But anyway.
Yeah, so I'm going to take all those peripherals. Like I said, to me that's what makes the movie a little more special than just like a straight ahead action. If you take all that out, yeah, it's 30 minutes shorter, but it's a much more one dimensional movie. And I think
It's a good call.
for me, this is the thing that separates it.
All right, I got the traditional kind of movie trope, the not dead guy. It really doesn't. I mean, it gets old, but again, it's used repeatedly and repeatedly. Sometimes it's ridiculous. Sometimes it plays. Sometimes it makes you jump. Everything from Die Hard, which I think a little bit. I don't think it was necessarily needed, but I don't know how Carl. I don't know how. I was going to call him Carl Winslow.
I think we're just referring to him as Carl Winslow.
Yeah.
This pod.
Because Al Powell is just not
Al Powell.
But you got the traditional, like the Freddy Krueger. You got like all the old school. I mean, right? All the old school Halloween, Jason, Freddy Krueger. It was kind of established with those. Then you start to use that in things like action movies. Honestly, maybe this is one of the movies that really kind of rams it home after those horror movies, and then from then on, I don't know, things like you got Scream. I mean, even like Jaws uses it, where you think that it's dead, it's not quite dead.
You know what? Back in our vaults, we did Very Bad Things, and they kind of played on that trope because he comes alive and he grabs on, but then he like just passes out. It's not like he does anything or that anybody has to react to him. He comes alive for a second and then he just dies.
It's literally one of the oldest and, dare I say, best horror movie tropes.
Yeah.
You think the bad guy's dead, but he's not.
And then when the hero is walking up to the villain, whoever's died, you're walking up and you're tense.
Yeah, because
No matter what.
you got to walk over him and say a cool one-liner.
No matter what.
Yeah.
And even, I mean, I didn't see this one. I don't know if you remember seeing this for the first time. I mean, I don't remember seeing this happening when he's hanging and you think that he's completely dead. This one was completely out of left field in Die Hard. Again, rewatching it, it's a little on the corny side to me, but that trope never really gets old. And that's why we love movies. That's why I love movies, is something that can be as silly as that, really not ever getting old, because I'm kind of romantic about that side of movies. So give me that all day. All right, good stuff. Let's go on to snag.
So I'm going to snag the non-traditional genre Christmas movie. I really like, this one's sort of action Christmas. There are some, movies that have come out since that definitely don't quite fit. So like, it's not a great movie, but Office Christmas Party, right, is one that I've added to my rotation. It's just really fun, kind of funny, a little bit like R-rated comedy, raunchy.
Naked Aniston.
I don't know.
No.
I don't think there's Naked Aniston, but
It's disappointing.
that's all. I live with that in my daily life. The disappointment.
Well, Fat Man.
did you
Fat
see
Man
Jennifer
recently come
Aniston?
out. and
Okay, so
that's-
Fat Man, which I haven't seen, but
it's ridiculous.
Okay, so there's another action, Christmas action. There's like Bad Santa, right? Which is kind of so there's a bunch of sort of more modern, Christmas movies that just don't fit the mold of the old style.
Did they do a Christmas version of Bad Moms?
Yeah. Bad Mom's Christmas.
Welcome Home is with Will Ferrell, right? Daddy's Home. Okay, so there's Daddy's Home, and so one of our biggest fans, my good buddy Dave, has just told me that a sleeper, crazy good Christmas movie is Daddy's Home 2. He's giving me
I've seen
shit
it.
for not watching it and saying it's a great Christmas
If you
movie.
like Will Ferrell and you like Wahlberg, it's a movie.
Okay.
Friday After Next was
Friday
Christmas.
after next. So I think that I love Christmas movies in general, and I like the classics. I'm all in on Christmas Vacation, Home Alone. I really like Miracle on 34th in its various versions. So I'm in on this stuff.
Miracle on 34th?
Yeah, it's great. Christmas.
Don't bring that shit to the pod, bro. I only have so many hours in my life. I can't waste it all.
But I'm saying I like that they keep doing different things with Christmas movies because I want to keep being interested. I guess Elf, that one's slightly non-traditional. So that's my shag. I'm going to take that and cuddle it. I'm sorry, my
Oh, your snack.
I was going to say, because if we're snagging fools, I'm snagging my dude Ellis, the crazy-eyed, smarmy coke guy. He is fucking awesome. I love a good coked up dude in any 80s movie, early 90s movie. They kind of went away from the crazy coked up dude after that. But, if you walk around California and the Central Valley long enough, you're going to come upon that crazy coked up dude.
I just think society went away from that crazy cooked up dude.
That's what you think. And,
I mean, I based my commercial on him. I was
everybody,
all about-
yeah, everybody knows that guy, and you see him out at the bar, and you're like, oh, hey, it's crazy coked up dude. Let's go talk to him. He's gonna fucking talk to us 140 words per minute, and it's never not entertaining, and I fucking love it.
He was great.
Good stuff. My snag is Alan Rickman. I'm 100% in on Alan Rickman from Hans Gruber. Moving forward, he's gone too soon. It was sad that we lost him already.
How old was he when he died? Do we know that?
60s, like mid 60s.
Oh, okay, all right. He made it pretty good.
But I mean, Die Hard, Robin Hood, Galaxy Quest, Dogma, Love Actually. I just noticed on my screen it says Harry Pooter.
Is he in that too?
He is in.
He's
Harry,
in the porno version.
I love that crossover. I love that crossover ability.
Harry Pooter. Yeah, so he's in the Harry Pooter movies as well as Harry Potter, and he was a voice in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy movie. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is my favorite all-time book series, and the movie is what it is. But he voiced Marvin, which was appropriate for the paranoid android.
It was the best part of the Hitchhiker movie.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't great to me, but he did an awesome job with the voice. So, Alan Rickman, love him. He's played so many just great roles, and miss that dude.
I'm just going to give a quick shout out to Bruce Willis, but mine's going to be actually McTiernan, because his run from Predator, Die Hard, Hunt for Red October, just those three, I'll put those up against any three like action movies. Just even Predator and Die Hard. But then Hunt for Red October is a great movie. And then to wrap it all up with 13th Warrior, which is just, I don't know if it's beloved by everybody. It sounds like it is here amongst the Bev's crew.
I mean, a lot of people would have gone 12 Warriors, maybe 14, but 13 is the fucking
Magic.
number, bro.
Give me
6 minute abs.
No, not 6, 7.
You can't have 12 warriors. Well, that's crazy. You got to have 13 warriors. That's the number.
What does he say? 7 bluebirds sitting on a branch, eating lots of blueberries from my mother's ranch.
From my mother's
that old nursery rhyme from the sea. But
Step into my office because you're fucking fired.
You're fucking fired.
Yeah, something about Mary's coming.
next Christmas episode.
Going to be on the pod next year.
That's going to be from our Florida Chronicles.
The Florida Project.
He's driving across Florida when they're doing that, right? They're going down south.
right.
Oh, I love it.
But that's me. Give me McTiernan. I didn't know he had his run. I actually didn't remember that he directed Predator, but he's a big deal and deserves to be snagged by everyone at this table.
I'm kind of a big deal.
That's what I got. So that's all 4 of us. We're body
bagging.
we're body bagging, and we're gonna start with Zach on body bags. He's got the body bag out, unzipped,
This
ready
is
to go.
topical because Nick's over here sucking McTiernan's dick, and I'm like, bro, come over here and get into my body bag because this movie is too fucking long. I watched it with my 2 fucking ADHD certified kids along with myself, and we were losing our fucking minds like 3/4 of the way through the movie. It's good. I like it. I can't even talk shit. I like the plot. I like everything about the movie, but I'm not sure where I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut all the outside cop shit. I'm cutting the FBI guys. I'm cutting the fucking shit on the roof. And
Not the
maybe
shit on the roof.
Maybe we get to like an hour 45. I mean, you don't need any of that, dude. All you need is John McClain fighting against foreign bad guys.
Which is
maybe
on the
some
roof.
more. Maybe some, no. I mean, that's the dumbest part when he's on the roof and they're like shooting at him with that big gun. I didn't like that. When there's like 10 minutes of this movie where they're setting up a missile launcher to shoot a car that really has no point in the whole movie.
The helicopter is
Shoot
it
it again.
No, they shoot the van that's coming to
RV,
run the doors.
I know.
They're like,
Theo.
bring in the car.
But how
Bring
do
in
they-
the car.
How do they take down the helicopter again? With the FBI
When they
agents?
blow up the roof, the
Oh, it hits
explosion.
the-
It's mostly the C4 that takes out the helicopter.
Very good
but-
point, dude. They definitely build the hell out of those missiles. They show
Yeah.
it show them multiple
And then they
times.
shoot one fucking dune buggy with it, and it's all over. Very confusing. I don't know. The best part of the movie is when they fucking find the vault. But anyways, go ahead, Brad.
Nick, I hate to do it, but I'm kind of body bagging something that a point you made earlier that I think the Powell getting the last kill is just unnecessary and stupid. I really Scott agrees with me. Sweet. They throw that little story in, and I guess it makes you a little bit care about Powell a little bit more. But the fact that he just happens to be showing up with his machine gun when there's all these cops that have probably
Same
already been
machine gun.
securing the building, and he's and get down, and he gets to make the kill. It's so stupid. It's just a redemption story that did not need to happen.
So that was going to be my body bag too. So I'm just going to punctuate that point, which is just, if you watch the scene, there's a bunch of cops like moving into the building behind him with guns drawn and everything. They don't even turn around. It's just, he's up and blah, blah, and then.
And where did he come from? And he's got a machine gun with him. It's like,
in fact,
How did he
they
get
not turn
outside?
around. Nobody else seems to react. Right? It's like only Carl Winslow with his 6-shooter. And
Yeah, he
like-
also has a John Wayne gun.
and he's like,
Same gun as Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry's gun.
the slowest draw in the West, like pulls that thing out, and like he's got time to sort of like writhe and scream, and we bring the machine gun down.
The Carl Winslow literally like takes a shot for his diabetes medication before he shoots him.
well, and it's such
German
an
Carl.
80s,
German Carl.
it's such an 80s thing for a guy to shoot somebody. Now, oh, you can kill again. Good job, buddy. You can kill again.
Yeah.
Good job. Forget about that kid you killed.
kill
Got
back.
to kill that. It's like
Nobody
it's like
remembers that kid.
He had the kill yips.
Yeah,
And
the yips.
He made that throw to first. So you killed him. You did it, buddy.
You can kill again. Go back to killing, buddy. You're good at it.
I can make 3
Put that guy back on the street and let him kill. Yeah,
Give him his badge back.
He walks back into the office. He's just like, I kill fucking kids again. Let's go.
yeah. That's not my favorite part.
I love it. I fucking love it. It's not my favorite part either.
It's inadvertently my favorite part now.
The trope of them coming back to life is corny. It stirs up this great conversation that we're having right now.
How did he get out from hanging? He was hanging.
He was wearing a cop outfit
He was hunged.
on the way out.
We
We were just supposed to read between the lines there.
Oh, then yeah. He's
Run
like,
there-
we can't go 2:15. We can only go 2:10. We're not
We
gonna-
can't show him
we're
walking
not gonna
through
do the
the
5 minutes of
lobby
Carl wandering
walking by
through.
Huey Lewis in the cop
slowly
outfit.
following him down.
It
What's
looks like a
funny is
music
that-
video.
I'm sure there's an uncut version out there that's like 2 hours and 45 minutes, right? That's like a whole bunch of Argyle backstory.
Sure.
No, there is the unrated version, but it goes 2:45, but it just shows John McClane's
It's
dick.
just all about Bruce Willis.
Hey, Bruce Willis likes to show the junk. He's shown in a couple
it's
movies.
Just it's like 30 minutes of him.
Does Bruce really have a shoulder injury? They never really explain his shoulder scar.
I looked that up. I immediately, as I was watching, I did a quick Google, and he broke his arm at 17, and it was like a surgery to repair like a broken arm or something.
I was hoping they would make it into like an old high school football injury, and we'd have another high school football star on it.
17-year-old break his
North
arm.
Hollywood High.
Maybe it was.
North Hollywood High, strong safety.
I heard that's why Demi Moore left him.
What are you body bagging, Nikki?
I was just so he's him talking to himself out loud when he's supposed to be hiding quietly from German terrorists in a vent in a
The
AC
vent one is the worst. The AC one is by far.
What are you
the
gonna
worst.
do, John?
And he's got like a light
let me
on.
get this flashlight. I mean, the lighter going, and I'm going to go ahead and talk to myself out loud.
Yeah. Come on, John, just a little Christmas trip to California, huh, John? And so no, I mean he's getting found and killed in the first hour and a half, and so this movie's over early.
Oh, don't step on my
John
alternate
McClain
ending.
exists. Okay, that's what I got. That's our Shack Snack body bag. That's good stuff. All right, moving on to our next category, and Brad's going to lead us off with our unofficial sponsor, our Cameo category.
Yo, Cameo. It is time for the Cameo, and we have a few folks on here from the Cameo that are going to just in time for Christmas. You can dial them up. No, not dial them.
Can we have a contest to see who gets closest to the money and make it count as a win for a draft?
No, I don't think so. You got to earn your wins, Zach. Earn your wins. So yeah, we've got a few folks. None of the main players, but we got some folks that have, they've got some important roles here.
I'm gonna guess Argyle.
Argyle is on.
Oh, I
Cameo.
The hacker in the terrorist group,
Theo, man, you guys are 2 for 2. Look at that.
which is also he was also in Top Gun. I can never remember his call name, but he was in Top Gun.
Oh yeah, he rides with
Jester? No.
No, he rides with
He rides
Tom
with
Cruise
Maverick.
with Maverick
Maverick's
after
losing his shit.
yeah, after Goose is dead.
Oh, he's
I'll fire when I'm goddamn
Is he
good and
Hollywood?
ready.
Hollywood that one.
No, he is not Hollywood.
Okay. And then we've got one more.
you had the shot.
This guy's more famous for
Coke
his
guy?
This guy's more famous for his role in Goonies.
Is Sloth in this movie?
No.
I just got
What
excited.
about the reporter?
No, he's not in Goonies. This is the final one. There's one more.
No idea. That movie sucks.
Agent Johnson.
Oh yeah, he's
is
one of the
also
brothers.
one of the brothers.
He's also one of the Fratelli brothers. There you go.
He's the one
And
that
he
sings
also-
when Chunk's in the car.
Yeah, he's got that deep, nice little voice, the opera voice. And in Die Hard, he also is big on reminiscing on Saigon.
Okay, so of those three, of Argyle,
those three.
of the nerd, and of Johnson, who's the most
Who's charging the
expensive?
most?
The brother, the Fratelli brother.
Yeah, I gotta say for Telly Brother too.
I'm going Argyle.
Zach, you chose the one who's charging the least.
Oh.
Now, Argyle, how much do you think he's the least? How much is he charging?
$30.
I'm gonna go 45.
$46, Bob.
That's a nice move there, Zach. Argyle's charging 75, and his business fee is $525.
That's steep.
That's ridiculous.
He seems like he's really loving it. He looks like he's on camera. He's just loving the fact that people are.
So can I just drop the knowledge that I watched this with my 9 and 11-year-old sons, and by a long shot, their favorite character was Argyle.
So
By
his
a
name's
lot.
Devereaux White. Devereaux White. So if you're looking for him on Cameo, you want Argyle to wish your auntie a nice little Merry Christmas, hit him up. $75. All right, Clarence Gilliard Jr. That is Theo. How much for the middleman in our Cameo?
I'm going to go $86, Bob.
I'm gonna say 99.
92.
No way it's over
You
100.
should have went to 100 because it is $100 for Clarence Gilliard Jr. Theo. $100 and $700 for his business card.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
So Agent Johnson, he's agent, and they actually list him as Agent Big Johnson, and then there's Little Johnson.
He's the Big
He's
Johnson?
Big Johnson.
He's listed as Big
He
Johnson.
wasn't even in Saigon.
No, Big Johnson wasn't.
Oh, you're right, you're right,
you're right.
Yeah. So, and obviously one of the Fratellis from Goonies. How much is he charging for his cameos?
120, 150.
Zach's waiting. Is one he wants to go last.
Nick went 150. I'm going to go 159.
I'm gonna go 135.
Oh wow, you all went over, but you only went over by $1, Nate.
Yo,
134.
that's two that I've been off by $1.
Wait, he's charging 134.
134, and this is the best though.
That's
So
the most random number.
business
I've ever-
business for the
number.
first two was $525 and $700. Robert Davi's business fee $5,000.
What?
I mean, I hate to go back to it, but does he have a Tony or something that we don't
No,
know
he's
about?
got Goonies. Goonies is all he needs because Goonies is one of the fucking best movies of all time.
That's just the most insane shit I've ever heard anyone say.
So that's our cameo for this week. Cameo, you know, we're just waiting. Just give us a call. We've been doing a lot of work for you, a lot of groundwork. We're really getting that cameo spread out to the nation because we've what did we say? 34 states we've been listened to.
We should give a code and then just see if enough people start entering the code and they're just like, why are we keep getting this code that's BVK?
If you guys, yeah,
BVK pod.
BVK 69. If you guys
69,
put that in when you go on to Cameo, you will not get a discount.
But it will give you an error code.
Yeah, but if you keep putting it in, maybe officially it might turn into something. So yeah, there you go. Put in BVK pod.
The first person that gets an actual discount with BVK 69 will get a discount on Cameo.
We'll send you a sticker.
All right, moving on to streaming recommendations. Anything out there that is related to Die Hard, makes you think, makes you kind of twinkle. You know, I can't even think of the word.
I have
Twinkle?
Twinkle.
Were you
I was
gonna
gonna
say,
say
is there anything else
twinkle.
that makes you
Twinkle in your
twinkle?
eye?
It makes me twinkle.
Yeah.
There's lots that makes me
Wiggle?
I have to go first on this because one of my favorite, I don't know what they are. They're the guys from Workaholics. They did a movie called Game Over Man on Netflix. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Seen parts.
so
I'm waiting for the tie-in.
graphically
Dude,
good.
it is literally it's Die Hard, but it is their Workaholics Naked Gun making fun of Die Hard.
Okay, parody, a silly version.
And
but it's
dude-
not really like full parody. It's like in the in between. It's like
It's so fucking funny, you guys. It is so ridiculous.
it's funny.
The foreign bad guys are trying to kill them, and Adam Devine's hiding in a closet, and he's looking out the closet, and the foreign bad guys come in and they start talking. They're like, "Oh, where'd he go? Where'd he go? I don't know." And then they just start seductively talking to each other, and it turns out that they are both in love with each other, and they just start having sex right there in the room, right in front of him while he's in the closet watching.
So great.
So it's MacGruberish.
They are waiters or bellmen or something at this hotel. They're maids at the hotel, and the hotel gets taken over just like in Die Hard. It's literally Die Hard, but instead of John McClain, you've got the Workaholics guys as bellmen that save the day, and it's so
I gotta check it
funny.
out. I definitely
it's
gotta check it
very good.
It's
very fun.
very up your alley, Brad.
And it's played for some extreme
Yes.
gratuitous
And as
visuals and
going on our Forgetting Sarah Marshall theme of full frontal male nudity, there's a bunch of that in it. It's
lot of
fucking
All right,
great.
I'm sold. My streaming is, and this one's funny to recommend because right now, you know, I get a lot of shit from my braids, and when I take out my braids,
do you?
when I take out my
I
braids,
hadn't noticed.
When you let your hair down,
when I let my hair down, it looks quite a bit like Cameron Poe from Con Air. With his nice little wavy kind of mullet that he's got going, and that's what I'm recommending is Con Air because it's a follow up Die Hard on a plane. They've done a lot of those versions. I mean, Air Force One and shit like that.
Snakes on a
Passenger
Plane.
57. I mean, a lot of these movies where it was like,
One of Nate's
let's take
favorites.
Die Hard and put it into something else. And Con Air is kind of the Die Hard on a plane. And one of the main reasons I recommend it is because it is streaming right now on Fubo Roku Tubi. When I was looking at what it's streaming on, it's streaming on Fubo, Roku, and Tubi. So let's just combine that into one streaming service. That's Fubo Roku Tubi.
Well, I'm going to follow you right on because mine also is on Tubi,
Tubi.
but it's Tubi with ads. So
Yeah, I think both Fubo and Tubi have ads.
I don't know.
so did you guys rent Die Hard for $3.99 or did you watch it on IMDb TV?
I did not want to watch it.
I watched it with the commercials because I would go to my document that I like kind of write on. I would during the commercial I go to the document. I was doing Cameo during the commercials, so I actually had something to do.
We watched the first two parts with the commercials, and then my wife goes, this is ridiculous. We're paying $3, and we went back and rented it and fast forwarded.
It's
to
like
where we were at.
180 seconds of commercials
Dude,
each time.
it's
It's
so bad.
pretty brutal.
Dude, I have owned this movie for years on streaming video, so there was no question. Okay, so mine, and what's kind of weird about it is we've gotten to this point in the pod without even really acknowledging the sequels. So Die Hard itself spawns, I believe, 4 sequels. So there's
4 sequels?
Oh, at least.
Yeah, so it's
I've only seen the first.
I think there's
Wait,
5.
Die Hard 2.
So there's
Die Hard
Die Hard,
3.
Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance is 3. Live Free or Die Hard is 4.
And then A Good Day to
A
Die.
Good Day to Die Hard is 2013
that's 5.
is 5. I'm also seeing something here called McClain, which is like a Die Hard Year 1 series, but it's unclear to me what this is.
I don't know, but that's not. I don't think
That was
that's
somebody's
what it was.
Spanish project.
Okay, so anyway, so we've got 5 total, 4 sequels.
I know I've seen the first 3. I don't think I've seen 4 or 5.
I've seen parts of Live Free or Die Hard, not the.
Did you guys say that Sam Jackson's in one of them?
That's 3.
Okay,
He's
so
3.
this is my streaming recommendation.
Okay.
So 2 is essentially like a repeat of this, but at an airport, which is cool. And it has some of the same fun characters that are carried over from the first one. The reporter is prominently in it, and his wife, and so there's a whole.
It's the T2, right? T2. Robert Patrick's one of the bad guys.
Yes, I believe so. But the one that's really genuinely good and kind of new is Die Hard with a Vengeance, which is Die Hard 3, and it has Samuel L. Jackson in it as this sort of sidekick for John McClain. I think they're running all over Boston, New York. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Die Hard with a Vengeance is on Tubi. You should watch it. You don't need to watch 2 if you don't want. You can just skip right on over to 3.
All you have to do is sign up for Tubi.
Just go find out. Just go figure out what Tubi is.
It's TUBI, just in case you're wondering. It's like TOOBY.
And then once
or
you
what?
figured that out, figure out how you can get it, and then watch Die Hard.
There's 2 things that stood out from Die Hard 2 that I remember as a kid watching it, and it bothered me. One thing that bothered me, the other thing just stood out. The first thing was they blow up an entire plane of like innocent people, and like that always bothered me. Like I hate just the fact that a bunch of innocent people die in a very
always a
like
deal breaker.
realistic way, and it's just like, oh shit, like I don't want to fly on a plane now. And then the second one is that I remember they had there's like this whole like twisted plot about like who's working with who, and they're firing at each other, but they had red tape if they had blanks or blue tape if they had real bullets, and it was like this whole thing about like he figures it out that they're actually using fake bullets when they're acting like they're fighting each other, and then the blue tape meant they actually had real bullets. So just a dumb plot point that stood out.
I remember Die Hard 2 because I have not seen it in a long time. It's like the whole thing, it takes place at night in like the snow, right? Like the
it's like an
entire thing,
airport. It's at
Snowy
like an
airport. There's an airplane circling.
which itself is like you could film it anywhere.
Well,
on
yeah, because
any
the
stage,
airplanes
like-
can't land, and so like one of them blows up, and then the end, all the bad guys are celebrating on the plane. They're taking off, and then that's when McClane lights the fire,
and that's where
follows
the
it.
yippee-ki-yay.
Yeah, he throws the yippee-ki-yay motherfucker, and the flames follow the plane up and blow it up.
I
The
really,
5th movie, McClane's got to be like, what the fuck? Do I have the worst luck ever?
It's just like, I'm
fuck is
out.
going on?
What if there was a Die Hard 6? He's just like, something's going on. He's like, fuck it, I'm leaving. And he goes like to McDonald's and like hangs out.
He just takes his limo driver and goes home.
Die Hard with a Vengeance, though, I really like Die Hard with a Vengeance. Like,
I
I've
do
seen
too.
that at this point quite a bit more than Die Hard.
Yeah, it's a legitimate. I mean, it could be the franchise film.
Except for the part where John McClane gets exploded and then like lands in Zeus is Samuel Jackson's character. He like lands in his car. It's just like so stupid. Like let's bring him together by him getting like blown out of this tube, and then he just like lands in his car.
Yeah.
He doesn't land in the car. You mean when out of the water?
Yeah.
No, he gets blown out into a puddle, and then Samuel comes and picks him up. He gets blown out just into like a puddle.
He like
Don't
crashes
talk to
through his
Nick
car.
about Die Hard 3, dude. Nick knows his
Seen it a
shit.
lot, bro.
Because Samuel's looking for him, and all of a sudden he's looking around. All of a sudden, John McClane comes shooting up out of the puddle,
right by him though. Like,
right by him. No, right
That's what
by.
I'm
No,
saying.
okay, yeah. He's just not going. He's not shooting out into the front seat.
Nick has a freaky good memory for movie things.
no,
does.
I just am confident
Nick,
when I know.
Nick, do a
the
quote from
answer.
Die Hard 3. Go.
He has one too.
I have a real bad headache. My really told me to have a headache. My shrink told me to take my medicine. I have a really bad headache.
yeah, Sam Jackson plays like a less confident dude in that movie.
He
and it's
wasn't
like-
trying to think of one. He was trying to decide which of the 10
There was
he wanted
no
to say.
cuts in that. Nick came up with the headache shit right off the top of his headache.
All right. That's some good shit. That's some good watching. Have fun with those that you're about to watch. We're on to our reshelf at alternate endings category. You're walking through Best Video Kingdom. You're walking by the drama category. You're walking by horror. Zach's hanging out, just creepy, just staring, breathing really heavily in the horror section.
Just because it's right next to the fucking
back
curtain
area
porno section.
He just got back from the curtain section.
I wonder if my mom will notice if I sneak underneath this fucking curtain.
And you might reshelf Die Hard in one of those other categories from its action drama category, or you might have an alternate ending. You might have both. I don't know who we want to start with.
I'm reshelving this, and I just want to put it into the debate forever. So we're gonna make this a fucking absolute. When the Christmas
we're
shelf
taking
comes
it to
out,
the Christmas
we're
movie?
going straight Christmas because now John he happens to be like they called him out. And he's coming out to that party. And she's like, you've played Santa before at home and stuff with the kids. Like, how about you just be Santa Claus for this party? And so he's got a Santa Claus outfit the whole time. And now it's straight Christmas lines. When he shoots up through the table and he shoots the dude like basically in the balls. And now he's like, I jingled his balls. I mean, he's
so loud.
And then like the famous line is no longer yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. It's ho ho ho, motherfucker. I mean, he's just changing up. People would hate that, and it's terrible. But fuck it, we're Christmas enough. We're going to 11.
Full Christmas.
Imagine what that Santa outfit looks like with that tank
Just
top, like
bloodied
that.
up.
Oh, dude,
Torn up by the end.
He's only got the pants on by the end and just running around with that feathery white ruffle around.
bare
the
feet still,
cuffs.
but Santa outfit, yes, bare feet completely.
Yep.
Can I say the best thing that Brad's done is show me how to use the soundboard so I can press buttons when he doesn't expect it?
Zach is not going to be allowed to use the soundboard.
I'm not going to get to sit next to Brad anymore because I just love pressing these buttons.
The problem
what do you
is,
think, Scott?
Oh, yeah.
You think Zach should be pushing those buttons?
Oh, yeah.
The problem is that the two audio clips we have, the Jingle Bells and the Oh Yeah, they're very different sound levels. So the Jingle Bells hella loud. Oh Yeah is very.
You got to fix that in the post.
I guess.
If we're alternate ending this movie, I'm going to go. So my kids just freaked out every time Argyle came on the screen. They loved it. Every second, every time it would flash back to him and there would be like some sort of little thing with him, he was laughing his ass off. And I'm going to say maybe Bruce dies in the first like 45 minutes of the movie. I'm going to say he's hanging onto his machine gun and he's in the shaft from Star Wars where Luke's about to fall down to his death. And he's just
Very
hanging
windy.
there. And maybe he fucking lets go of the little guitar strap and dies. And
They
everybody's
just
like,
cartoon sound effects.
everybody's like, oh shit, Bruce just died. Then we cut to Carl Winslow. He's like, hey, are you there? Are you there, Roy? Are you there? And then Argyle picks up on his CB and he's like, what's up, Carl? And he's like, all right, man, we got to take care of this shit. And then you got your fucking buddy cop movie from there on out with Carl Winslow and Argyle the entire time, just fucking wrecking everybody's shop.
Oh man,
I like that. I like Argyle.
That's my alternate ending. I don't think it goes into a different spot, but I think we need to put the spotlight on my boy Argyle.
And I don't think there's a sequel.
Can we talk about Argyle for a second? Because the guy comes out in an ambulance wearing an EMT like outfit. And Argyle's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go drive into this guy and then punch him. Like, how did he know it wasn't like the actual
that was my
EMT?
thought, too. I was like, what? He saw something. He must have seen something.
He's like, I hate first responders.
They're actually trying to get like a hostage out. And he's like, fuck it, I'm running in this guy.
He knew. I somehow just knew.
Yeah.
What-
Because then he jumps out and he punches the dude. Like, he knocks him out.
and it was a real like for the weight of the punch. It didn't feel like he should have knocked him out.
No.
But boy, he sure did.
Argyle
Theo's
ain't
got a weak
lot
jaw.
behind that.
Theo's got a
that
glass
right
jaw.
cross.
Argyle's got heavy hands.
Yeah.
Theo hasn't taken many punches.
Yeah, Theo was not there for his punch taking ability. I don't know that I have a reshelf or an alternate ending because I just like it so much the way it is. I refuse to play your bastardization games, so I'm gonna leave it there.
There's some movies that, you just don't want to fuck with.
I don't want to mess with it.
I'm actually with Nate. I got nothing. So that's where we're left there with.
You got no reshelf, Nick?
I don't.
Nicky's reshelves are legendary. So if he doesn't have it, you know this movie.
Every
is
time I'm like,
sacred.
where's Nick going with this? And
I
then he
thought we were
brings
going to
it
tie
home
this
and
into
I'm
like
like,
the
oh, shit.
Predator, and like we were going to tie this into True Lies.
Okay, so you want to hear some ideas?
It was,
that I had?
it
'Cause
was
they're out there.
aliens. It was the aliens origin story.
Well, so I mean,
The Lethal Weapon universe is out there.
oh, see, so this is a close cousin of the reshelf. I love to figure out what universes the characters should be.
Axel
What is
Foley
this
happens
baby?
to be in LA at the time,
So
and
Danny
he like
Glover-
shows up.
and
That's
Danny
Argyle's
Glover-
dad. Argyle's dad is Eddie Murphy from fucking Beverly
Axel
Hills.
Foley.
I like that.
Well, I mean, I'm saying, okay, so John McClain is the guy from Unbreakable. Is this the character crossover?
Oh shit!
He gets fired. You know, he no longer is a cop, right?
Well, and the marriage is on the rocks, just like in Unbreakable.
So he goes through 5 Die Hard movies, and he's like, "Fuck, I cannot be killed."
Dude, and then in the last act, you find out he's dead.
In the first 20 minutes.
What movie are we talking about?
Okay, so then we already know Carl Winslow. is
So
a
Danny,
crossover.
so I was gonna actually maybe replace Winslow with Glover. Glover in Lethal Weapon 1 or 2 shoots the young kid.
Oh yeah,
So it's like
shit.
Glover, like I was thinking about Glover, and that's like his story. He gets suspended for whatever reason and gets to like writing tickets, but then he gets called on this job where he's talking to McClain on the other side of the phone, but it's Glover. We follow Glover after, gets introduced to his new partner, Mel Gibson, and then
Mel Gibson says something super
or
racist.
somehow McClain and Mel Gibson meet, and then the universe implodes, and then the end of the world happens.
I've got one that's gonna. This is the one that's gonna bring the whole house down, though.
That's a big statement.
Bring it.
Hans Gruber realizes that he is actually a warlock, and he is Snape.
Say that when he falls,
Hans
he just lands
Gruber.
on a fucking broomstick and flies away.
He lives. And
they didn't Game of Thrones it. They don't show him land.
somebody shows up and does the spell and like takes him away, regrows his bones, and that's the beginning of Snape.
I think it almost works better with him being the metronome, or I think that's called the metronome in Dogma, where he's like the voice of God. And he just like likes being down on Earth, just fucking around doing shit. So he's like, I'm going to be a fucking robber gangster dude for a while. And that's what I'm going to do because I'm just bored here being on Earth.
I like to think that he's reborn as the sheriff of Nottingham.
He finds a time machine.
And he goes into Bill and Ted's universe.
There you go. That's,
Now we're talking, guys.
that's your. That's
We're
your-
crossing over
call,
here,
we'll
guys.
call that crossover universes.
We
'Cause we can.
We are crossing the streams and we shouldn't.
If babies had movies, if movies had babies that they shouldn't have.
I was gonna say if babies had movies, it'd be Look Who's Talking.
We've been talking about adding a category. The what movies made this one. We might have to do that soon.
Yeah, I don't know if we have that.
That's where that was kind of like heading.
Maybe bring that out in the
I
2022.
feel like it's like we're like floating around that, but we just
It's a tough category because there's not a lot of Google searches that you can do where you're like, what baby would or what parent movies would have made this baby, and then you're like,
It's a paragraph.
No,
guess I have to think of
comes
my
from
own
the dome.
shit.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to capitalize on
website?
that. Start a website. Bev's video baby movie making
Movie,
universe.
movie pregnancy test
I had the thought
Oh,
earlier.
I like it.
Ooh.
Somebody snap that up.
or movie DNA or movie.
Movie DNA. Somebody get that
Movie
web
DNA.
address
That's
before
too
someone
good.
steals that shit.
That already exists.
That's
too
a
good.
category
Sure, that's
on the
something.
Bev's Video Kingdom podcast is movie DNA.
That's what we'll call the category.
Yeah.
Movie DNA.
There we go.
So you heard it here first. Not that you would have heard it on any other podcast, but this is where you heard it first.
You didn't hear it on it.
If you guys were wondering how we come up with our categories, that's how it is. We just say retarded, dumb shit to each other, and then all of a sudden someone goes, "Yeah, that's good.
Magic, just like Zach saying.
Write that down in faded pencil."
MovieDNA.com is currently not available.
Yeah,
The web it says the web page is not available, which makes me think
You mean so it's not bringing anything up?
correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So don't go buy it and try to sell it to us because we don't have any money.
we've got $17.
Well,
yeah, we have some. Don't tell them exactly how much because they'll just make us pay that full amount.
so Brad and Nate, because you're so eloquent, let everyone know how they can, follow us and leave reviews.
So bread and butter here for us is is two things. Okay. We need you to go to Apple Pods. We need you to go find the little 5 stars. Click on the far right one to give us a 5-star review, and then write a review. You just click the write a review button and write something cool about what you like about us. That helps us out.
There's been some confusion. If you look at your Apple iPhone and you click on our podcast, in the top right-hand corner, there's a star. If you click on that star, it turns into a check mark. If you have the check mark, that means you are subscribed to our pod and you are a good person. If you do not have the check mark, fuck you.
You can still be a good person.
They're
as long
delivered
as
to you as
create the
soon
check
as they
mark.
come out. They are delivered straight to your device. So it's a good way to make sure that you're always on top of the new, fresh, hot BBK episode.
But also we want you know tell the number. I mean, and we spend we have no publicist. We have nobody that advertises this. We post on social media to on our Facebook page, on our Twitter, on our Instagram. But basically, Best Video Kingdom is existing and growing because our fans like it and tell people about it. So if you're a fan, the best thing you can do for us, honestly, is just to, think about, hey, which of my friends or group of friends, which group text am I on that like a bunch of them would dig this? I'm going to send the link around, or I'm going to post this on my Facebook because I think there's a bunch of people that would really like it. Just, share it around, and that's the way that more people are going to listen to us, and mostly that just makes us feel cool.
And I'd say it feels like there's definitely people who are passing it on, and those people are listening to it, and they're passing it on. So let's just continue that trend.
And this is an industry of cool.
Yeah, it's an industry of cool.
That's what we're doing
and the
here.
chicks are great.
The chicks are great.
If you guys have been listening to us for a while from the beginning, just know that our listens have gone from pretty low on the little listen graph to medium high on the listen graph to like pretty darn high on the listen graph. So you guys are already doing what we're asking you to do. So just keep fucking doing it.
Keep doing it.
Thank you guys. So this is Die Hard. Thank you guys for listening. Thursday, make sure to listen to this pod, finish this up, and I know you'll be looking forward to our draft for Thursday, which is most memorable one-liners in the process of a kill.
Hey Nick, will we
be back?
Will we be back?
Oh yeah, we'll be back.
Will Wheaton?
Hasta la vista, Brad.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That was
All you
I'm talking about myself. I'm not talking about Nate. Nate's delivery was
all you husbands out
Semi-cool.
there. We're early December right now. You need to Amazon your fucking wife's gift right now.
Get
yeah.
on.
Get her a
on to
Cameo.
Amazon.
That's your public service announcement.
This is all I will tell you. Just fucking Amazon that shit right now. It'll get here before Christmas and you'll be a hero. But if you wait until the 23rd, you're fucked.
And I'll say Cameo, if you want to get a little special prize for somebody who is not expecting it, find out who their like favorite kind of washed up actor is.
I love this.
Favorite B and C list.
And then go ahead and Cameo for them. And
Cameo is going to owe us so much money.
I've done it for a loved one, and it worked out like it was the best. It was awesome.
If your wife has a secret cuckold fantasy about Argyle, just get on there and get her a little video.
She's like, that little sweater he's got on.
Just be like,
that's Theo. Theo's got the nice sweater.
$100, and this guy dirty talked my wife for super cheap.
Cuckolded Zach's wife.
I've been cuckolded by Argyle.
They don't show the cuckold price on.
Yeah, the cuckold price is pretty high.
You got to look up to that star at the upper right-hand corner for the cuckolded check mark. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. We will catch you on Thursday.
See ya.
Oh, yeah.
Bye-bye.
I wanna be at Beverly's, bringing me home with my movies. Just a blind ride, no reason why. I love this scene. Nick Nate, I can grab your favorite podcast. The star